Welcome to Van Life with Steve, and thank you for joining me for a visit to Devil's Tower National Monument in northeastern Wyoming. So as we come up on the tower here, I was going to suggest that you skip these overlooks that are on the road up the way, but this is a good opportunity to get a look at the very top of the tower, which you can see off in the distance, and as you get closer you can't. So there's a look at the kind of the top of the tower. But yeah, it's a pretty imposing thing as you drive up on it, and we'll hit the visitor center here in just a second. So as I said, Devil's Tower is in northeastern Wyoming, and it's close to the border with South Dakota, and you can consider it part of the Black Hills, and it's something you want to check out if you do visit the Black Hills. It is our nation's first national monument, and here's kind of an info sign. You can pause it if you'd like to learn more about it, but you can see it was designated in 1906 as our first national monument by Theodore Roosevelt. Devil's Tower is considered a secret place by the Lakota people, and there's some interesting myths about its creation. I encourage you to maybe read about those and learn about them. They have a lot of information signs as you begin the trail around the monument, and they, like a lot of locations, they have these great relief maps that show off the location. You can see the height there is 867 feet from the base. And there are various theories on how the monument was created. The gist of all four of them is basically magma intruded into the sedimentary rock that 40 million years ago, when the Devil's Tower was created, the sedimentary rock layers were actually above the tower, and magma penetrated up into the sedimentary rock and then cooled, and then as over 40 million years of erosion, Devil's Tower remained, whereas the overlying sediment was washed away. So national monuments are more concerned with preservation as opposed to a national park, which a national park has more recreational activities. There are a couple hikes you can do at the national monument, and there is a campground and you can climb. However, because again it is a sacred place to the Lakota people, I believe in June there's no climbing in June, and there may also be some restrictions when it comes time for falcon breeding. I think these are falcons, possibly maybe buzzards, but you can get a really great look at some of the hexagonal columns that were formed when the magma cooled. You can see similar examples of these hexagonal column fault. You can see them at Sheep-Eater Cliff in Yellowstone National Park and at Devil's Postpile. But Devil's Tower is the world's largest example of those column type structures. And while people have observed smaller kind of rock falling off Devil's Tower, no one has ever seen one of the large columns actually fall in all of recorded human history. Here I am trying to channel my inner Roy Neary. Very famously, Devil's Tower was featured in the 1977 Steven Spielberg film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and it played a central part of the theme. This is a great trail to walk on, nice and easy, you got a lot of shade and everything. I did kind of halfway look to see if there were any secret army bases or any aliens. I did not find any, although there is a alien mannequin at the visitor center. That was a great movie. Richard Dreyfuss was great in it, and there was a younger Lance Henriksen's also in that movie, and Terry Garr, of course, is great also. I believe Steven Spielberg has expressed regret over how he ended that movie. Spoilers, but Roy Neary, he goes off with aliens. I believe Spielberg said he would end the movie differently. You wouldn't have Roy Neary abandon his family. If you're enjoying this content, I'd really appreciate it so much if you'd please give me a like. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos, and turn on the bell for notifications. Thank you so much, and let's continue with the video. So again, this trail is great. You get a great view of the tower. You also get a great look at the surrounding landscape. And Devil's Tower is also known, it's a form of a butte, which is a tall hill with sharply eroded sides. And what makes this a little bit different than the ones, for example, in Utah, is those are kind of like in a desert, whereas this is kind of like in a prairie land. So here you can see some climbers up on Devil's Tower. This is not something I would ever do, but it gives you a good sense of the size of the tower and the size of the columns. So these climbers here, the fellow that doesn't have any sleeves, that's to the left, his name was Mike, and he came down and chatted with him a little bit, and he was actually doing van life also. But I really appreciated those guys taking a minute to chat. So as we get closer to sunset, I'm going to fast forward and show you some astrophotography I did. You know, still have a little bit to learn about it, but I think my picture came out pretty good. Hope you agree. And getting back to sunset, it's really neat how the setting sun kind of changes the color of the tower, and it's a really neat thing to see. Also get a good look at the rock pile there at the base. And with that, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to Devil's Tower. I definitely recommend that you come out here and take a look at it. It's a very unique, kind of imposing looking structure, and I'm glad I visited. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this episode, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Thanks. Bye.